A new video game developer expo is coming to New York's Tech Valley region. One Upstate, a celebration of games and the people who make them, is coming to Albany, New York in 2023. Visit oneupstate.com for more information.
Now we're live. So welcome to another episode of Stories from a Bar. I'm your host, Chris Osborne, and for this episode, I'm hanging out at Speckled Pig Brewing in Ballston Spa, New York, and I am joined by co-owner Larry Heid. How are you, sir?
Good, buddy. Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. Thanks for, again, taking the time to do this. It's my first time here. I was excited to get up here and check this place out.
Yep. We got pizza coming for you, too, if you're ready.
Oh, I will be. Full disclosure, I'm nursing a little bit of a hangover. Last night got away from me a little bit watching the Ranger-Devil game.
Yeah, where were you?
I was home,
Yeah.
which is why it was easier to get away because I wasn't worried about having to go anywhere.
Yeah.
Actually, it's funny or not, I have a bet going with a friend of mine. I'm a Rangers fan. He's a Devils fan.
Yeah, my son's a diehard Devils fan. He was at Game 5.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So So if the Rangers lose, I have to buy him a 4-pack of Alchemist Heady Topper and vice versa.
Yeah.
And I need the Rangers to get their shit together because I don't know where to buy that in New York State.
I don't know. You might have to take a road trip.
I think I am going to have to drive to Vermont for beer.
Yeah, well, there's worse places to go.
It's true. It's true.
Burlington was one of the trips that inspired us to open this place. We went to,
really?
My wife and I went to Foam Brewery and looked at the footprint and the scale and the quality of their beer. And it was like, man, it made it seem obtainable to start a place.
Really?
Not that I'd say ours is on par with Foam or anything. I'm not saying that, but
I know of them. I haven't been to any. Honestly, Vermont's so close, and I haven't even gone out there to visit the breweries yet.
Yeah, Burlington's great.
I need to make that a weekend trip or something.
Great beer scene. I recommend Foam Brewery.
Like I said, super excited to finally check this place out. My first time here. I will say this. Piggy Smalls is what I'm drinking now, and it's definitely feeling better about the hangover already.
Yeah, it goes away after a couple sips.
It does.
Next week, we're going to be introducing the counterpart to that of the East Coast version, Notorious P.I.G.
Really? I saw the name. I'm like, I got to go Piggy Smalls. I'm like, I don't even know what it is, but I got to give that one a try.
Yeah, the Notorious P.I.G. is the East Coast version.
Fantastic. Yeah, I started to see the articles when this place was getting ready to open. I'm like, I read craft beer, wood-fired pizza. I'm like, you have my attention.
Yeah, it's definitely a nice pairing, and I think our popularity has been because of the pizza. It keeps people here longer, and it keeps them more engaged, and it makes for a nice family atmosphere. Like this place right now, it's loaded with kids.
Oh yeah, we're recording this at 1:00 on a Sunday. This place is packed.
Yeah,
so we're hanging out in the tank room.
Yeah, buddy.
No tables out there.
Yeah, well, it's worse places to be as well.
That's a good problem to have.
Yeah.
But I was excited to check this place out, but I've also heard a lot of great things, including the pizza and stuff.
Awesome.
One guy was at work, I was telling him I'm going to Speckled Pig Sunday. He's like, I need a review. Like, I've heard a lot about this place.
Yeah.
I'm like, my pleasure.
Yeah.
And it smells amazing out there, by the way, because I walked right with the pizzas being made. I'm like, oh yeah.
Yeah, we decided to make the pizza oven visually part of the entryway. So as soon as you come in, you're just it's right there and it's part of the show. We didn't want it back behind the scene. We wanted our pizza cooks to be part of the whole reason and the whole part of the ambiance when you come in here.
Yeah, that's great. So I'm drinking Piggy Smalls, which I forgot how it's described on here. Ballston Spa East Coast meets West Coast IPA.
Yep. I mean, growing up around this area, and especially after you start drinking a lot of New England IPAs, and then you go back to, I don't know if you're the same way, but I remember when I first had Little Sip of Sunshine or Sip of Sunshine by Lawson. Or something like a Heady Topper, and you were like, wow, this is the new version of a New England IPA. Now, I don't know if you go back and drink a Heady Topper, and you're like, wow, is it potent, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's the versions of New England IPAs that are out right now are juicy. Mm-hmm. They're more orange juicy type of beer and very citrus notes. And you go back now and drink a Heady Topper, like you were talking about earlier. And I just had one last month, and I was like, oh my God, I have a hard time drinking it, because my tastes have evolved.
They're potent.
Yeah, they're very potent. So with that in mind, we actually brewed this West Coast to be not so much as like a Sierra Nevada, but more like what we would like to drink, but still think of it as a West Coast. So it's pine forward. It's definitely got the hops notes, more bitter. Like there's actual bittering hops in that, but it's not quite like a Sierra Nevada West Coast.
It's really good.
Thank you.
What are you sipping on there?
The Gringo. It's our Mexican lager that we make to kind of mimic a Corona.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. And we also
good
have
summer beer.
A smattering of samples here that we'll talk about as we go along, which they all look great and have fruit sticking out of two of them, so that's very good too.
Yeah, buddy. We wanted to do a kind of like a shock top or a Blue Moon, so that we ended up doing a wit beer.
Okay.
And that's 99 Problems, but the wit ain't one.
Nice.
And that's the one that's adorned with the orange.
So you guys haven't even been open a year yet. I'm not sure how long. You opened in 2022. Was it September-ish?
September.
Later in the year?
We're hitting our 7-month mark now.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
How's the response been so far? I mean, well, as soon as I walked in, I mean, you guys have only been open an hour, and this place is already full.
We get a lot of regulars, and it's awesome. The village of Ballston Spa, I think, was just needed something like this to keep them here instead of like traveling to, Saratoga on a day like today, or making their way down to maybe Clifton Park or Albany or Troy.
Yeah.
Now they've got their own place, and the reception has been great. The village has been awesome. I love it when we come in here, when people come in here, and I see people run into people that they haven't seen since school, because it's like, oh my God, like it's become a neighborhood gathering spot, which is exactly what our intent was.
That's awesome. Like, there's not brewery wise, there's not a lot in the immediate area. I mean, we were at Real McCoy has a tap room walk-in distance from here.
Yep.
I did an episode with those guys early on. Super nice
Mike's
guys, great beers
great
over there.
I think they might. And we were toying with the idea of maybe doing a satellite location outside of here. And I know that the popularity wouldn't be as well received if you're not brewing right there, right? Like that's part of the allure. It's part of the charm and the attraction is that the tanks are on display. Half the time you're seeing us either cleaning kegs, brewing, doing some cellaring right through the glass. And we're always engaged in doing stuff. We have our waders on and we're actually there and people see it. Doing it all the time. Because every brewery you go to, they make it a point to have all that stuff visible, usually to some extent. So, and that is part of the allure. It is, and it's a source of pride too, because people see that you're taking the care, and I think they positively respond to that when they order their beers and enjoy it.
Awesome.
There's a connection to it.
Oh yeah. Are you a local guy?
From Clifton Park originally.
Oh right.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yep. Back in the day.
What got you interested in brewing?
Our son actually, Mary Jo and our son Connor actually started taking classes at Schenectady County Community College for the brewing program. So I bought him a Robo brewery set, but an all grain system, and we went pretty wild in home brewing, and we went pretty crazy for about 5 years though, brewing about every 2 weeks or so, and just kind of got really into it and decided to take a leap of faith and dive into this.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Do you remember the first beer you brewed?
Yeah, my son came up with this recipe for a nut brown ale. I don't know if I loved it, but but then after that, I'm like, no, we're going to buy some kits. We're going to learn the process, and we're going to start. So I actually bought a Sip of Sunshine clone kit off of More Beer.
Really? And
turned out pretty good. And it just every beer after that just started to get progressively better and better.
Awesome. You talked about getting a lot of locals and stuff. And again, Ballston Spa is now one of the places you think of when you want to go out and hit a bunch of breweries or something like that. So are you?
Correct.
And I imagine part of the goal is to try to turn this into a destination, drag more people into Ballston Spa.
Yeah.
Have you been getting a lot of people from outside of Ballston Spa coming to check the place out and everything?
Yeah, I would say 100%. And we're pretty. There's a small community of business owners here, and they've all noticed an uptick in their foot traffic, and it's people coming here and then going there for dinner. Karina's right across the street. She's changed her hours a little bit to take advantage of the foot traffic now that she has. So she makes custom jewelry. So she's changed her hours to take advantage of the increased foot traffic. We partner up with Coffee Planet, who's like kitty corner to us with all our stouts and porters. We actually model after their coffees, a different flavor. So we've done like their like Cinnamon Toast Crunch. They had a coffee that was cinnamon toast, so we did a porter from that. We did a peanut butter porter, and we try to partner with them. And then we've had recent like a lot of like talk between us and the guys at Next Door Kitchen about doing a project because they're seeing a lot more foot traffic come over there. So we might design a Pilsner for them and just sell it exclusively at Next Door.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Ballston Spa is a great town to just come and walk around in and check out the shops and stuff.
Yeah. It's turned into one, all right?
Yeah, it has. It's just a lot different from when I was a kid. I'm from Schenectady, so you don't get up here that often, but when I have, I remember what it looked like.
Sure.
And I'm like, wow.
It used to be a pass-through for people making their way from Schenectady to Saratoga and vice versa. And now it's become this little dining destination, and it's kind of, we view it as kind of like Brooklyn's Manhattan, right? Like Saratoga, might be like the place that everybody knows, but like Ballston Spa is this quiet little equivalent. Like people are like, oh no, that's the trendy place. You want to go there.
Well, track season was over when you guys opened, right?
Correct.
Okay, so I'm excited to see how what business looks like in the summer once the track season is open. If people are spilling down. Yeah,
excited is one word to describe it. I think we might get slammed. We'll see. Yeah.
Good problems to have.
Yeah, we just started our, I don't know if you noticed, we've got a rooftop deck that's being
I was going to ask. I saw that as I was walking up. I'm like, oh man, that's going to be awesome.
Yeah, 1,600 square foot rooftop deck. We're about 2 weeks away. We're hoping to have it done by Memorial Day weekend.
Oh, yeah, perfect for summer.
Absolutely.
Great timing.
Yep.
But I love the look of the building from the outside. I love how it looks inside.
Yep.
I was reading an article. So was this place abandoned for basically 15 or 20 years prior?
It was. Our partners, and that's how we ended up becoming partners with the Elliott family. We had viewed Ballston Spa as a place to go ahead and set up shop and open a brewery at. And we contacted Kelly Elliott, who's a local realtor, to show us a commercial property. And that one didn't work out, but she asked us like what our intent was and what we were looking for. And they had just bought this building maybe 18 months or 2 years earlier. And it was Randy's like wood shop. He was going to start building like custom-made furniture and stuff. He's very crafty. Yeah, he's not just a home builder in construction, but he does woodworking and carpentry. And after some talks, we evicted him from all his tools out of here and began construction on what now became the Speckled Pig Brewing Company. So, and they're partners with us.
That's awesome. Walking up, I noticed, because we're kind of, is it a 2-story building? Is there a floor? So what's going on downstairs? Is that going to be part of the brewery eventually, or is that for storage?
That's part of the Speckled Pigs plan, that's being converted into a private event space.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so we'll be able to host like bridal showers, wedding showers, poker tournaments, things like that, and that'll be more for just private parties. We anticipate having farm distiller products there as well. Maybe we'll team up with like Yankee Distillery or ADK Adirondack Distilleries as well.
Nice.
Yep.
And you guys are registered as a farm brewery, right?
Correct. Yep. So we ended up, we used Country Malt as our malt house distributor, and they supply, it's called Empire Malt, which is all farm. They act as a clearinghouse for New York farms to sell their malts and distribute it to small breweries. It's a great program. I think it's under the Cuomo administration. He introduced, I don't know if you're familiar with it.
I know a little bit, and I've had people that talked about a little bit of things that happened under it. But
under that act, farm brewing or little microbreweries kind of exploded across New York State because it made it accessible for people with like a limited budget to get into commercial brewing. Before then, it was a pretty expensive venture, but with this year, the fees had gone down dramatically and allowed guys like us to just get into brewing. But as a result of that, we have to commit to using 60% of New York State grains and hops into our products.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to move on to one of these samples before I end up drinking my whole beer and forgetting about
Yeah, you got more in front of you.
about that.
Yeah.
Let's start with the wit.
That's the wit, yep. So
tell me a little bit about this guy.
Yeah, it's got a 40% wheat bill. So we're kind of modeled it after Blue Moon or a Shock Top. I think we ended up with a little bit like more weedy forward. But you're gonna maybe recognize it as a commercial like Blue Moon type product.
It's really good.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't drink a lot of wits.
No, me neither.
I don't see actually. I mean, they're not uncommon, but they're not super common either.
Yeah, it's a fringe beer, but I'm surprised we've actually gone through quite a bit of it in the last. We just introduced that last month at our founders meeting. That was the new beer that they were sampling, and I'm surprised at how much we've gone through. So we are going to double batch that again, probably one more time to get us through the summer.
Nice. Yeah, this will be a great summer beer to have on hand, I imagine.
Yeah, all our new releases that we just brewed are with summer in mind. We have a lemonade shandy coming out. That'll be in about 2 weeks, and a blueberry pilsner as well.
Oh, it's nice. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are. And you guys do seltzers and ciders too?
Yeah, absolutely. We don't do ciders. That's the only product that we don't make. That we use Hudson North for.
Okay.
Yep.
Nice. Yep. I actually don't know what goes into making a cider. Is that a simple process?
Making cider?
Or not a cider, I meant a seltzer.
A seltzer? Yeah, it's a pretty... that is
I have an idea of where ciders come from.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very small malt bill, but it's mostly sugar and dextrose that we use. That's just fermented, and then you're basically just fermenting out the sugars.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. Yep. That one's a quick one.
Yeah, that's really good. So, you're registered farm brewery. Was it important to do that for you guys to really focus on local stuff, or on top of the benefits that would come with registering to begin with?
Yeah, I mean, we've always before you become a brewer or like a home brewer, like you'd go to a bar, right, and you'd walk up, you take for granted what goes into making a beer because you don't have that connection to the actual finished product or what goes into it. Like I've said it a million times, like you go up, it's so easy to take for granted when you go to a bar and be like, give me a Miller Lite. And the guy just pulls on the tap handle and hands you a finished product and you go about your business. When you start brewing and you realize that like you open the bags of grain, right? And you're actually mixing it and blending it, you're cracking it in a mill and you're putting it into the mash tun, and then you're opening a bag of hops. You get a connection to the farm and you realize, oh my God, aside from water, like all these ingredients come from a farm, and the yeast, of course. But and so you really get an appreciation for that. This is like benefiting farmers, like the whole beer industry. Like there are entire farms in New York State that only exist because of brewing, right? So you kind of get an appreciation for it, and that was part of the impetus for being a farm brewer and getting that farm brewing license, in addition to the benefits that it gives you.
Yeah, that's people. Well, I've lived in South Carolina. I'm from the area. I've lived in South Carolina for 5 years. And whenever I would tell people, I'm from New York, they just, of course, assume the city. Right. That's all there is. If you don't
every time you go on vacation,
there's a giant state above that's mostly farmland.
Yeah, 100%, especially when you go out west.
Oh, yeah.
And you start to visit these places that do roast or that do barley, and you're like, because it's the barley that goes into it.
Mm-hmm. But, yeah, New York they have exploded over the last decade, probably. I think we're over 500 different breweries and things like that.
Yeah, when you walked in here, that was a couple were over here. They're opening a new brewery in Warrensburg, and they're getting the same system as us. So they just stopped in to pick our brain about it. So that's why I gave them the time.
So when you were getting into opening this place, did other breweries reach out to you, or did you get in touch with them for like advice or to meet them and learn stuff?
Yeah, I would say that's fair to say. Like the guys at Stump City spent a day with us, and we were able to like watch them brew. And then the guys at Other One Brewing Company and Half Moon, they have the same Blickman system that we have, and so like we came to them for advice. And like I went down there, we were having a problem with our wiring. I went down there and took pictures and shot it up to my electrician, and They were really very helpful, and they guided us in some different directions for different vendors and the way we hook up our equipment.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Speckled Pig. I love the name.
Oh, thank you.
And I love the motto. Is it "Go Pig or Go Home"?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's pretty good. And if I'm not mistaken, I read the article too, where you guys at a farm and you just saw a whole bunch of pigs that were speckled.
It was probably June Farms. I think there was just all these like. Have you ever been to June Farms?
I haven't been to June Farms. I know about it.
They have these massive hogs there, and they're all different colors, and it's pretty cool. And I was like, that's a great connection to a farm. Honestly, like,
Yeah.
it's a very memorable logo and a very nice, like, memorable name.
It is.
So it's very easily to market.
Who came up with the logo for you guys? Because it's a pig. and,
Yeah.
it's really good though.
Thank you.
There's definitely a lot of detail in it.
Yeah, my wife is the genius behind the artistic on that.
Oh, well, good. Yeah, she did a great job.
Thank you.
Yeah, the go pig, go home. Piggy Smalls, all kinds of pig things here.
It's a little overkill, but we like the theme.
No, man, it works.
Yeah.
And like I said, I love the whole look you have going on out in the room there. It's like a modern rustic type look.
Yeah, I mean, my wife and my partner's wife, my partner Kelly Elliott, they came up with the whole like look for it, and then Randy, who's our other partner, executed the. He's in construction and was able to execute that, and their son RJ is the fifth partner in the business.
Oh, cool. We're gonna move on to another sample now.
Yeah.
I got to keep moving, or I'll forget. I don't want to have to ask about all of these at the very end. I'm like, well, because I've been sipping on delicious beer. So what's this guy right here?
That's the Rebel Rose. That's a fruited sour. That one is black cherry.
Ooh, black cherry.
Yeah.
That's really good. That's nice.
Thank you.
That's a good level of sour.
Yeah, we don't go for puckering. We kind of just go for tartness.
Yeah.
You know? And it's a process. We've done like barrel aged like lambic sours before, or in that style and tradition. The way we typically do it now is like most commercial breweries, we do like overnight souring, trying to lower the pH down to a certain level.
Mm-hmm.
Once it gets down to about 3.2, 3.1 on the pH meter, that's when your tongue can detect tartness. And we just keep sampling, and at a certain point, me and my brewer look at each other and be like, "Yeah, that's where we want to be." So, yeah, and then you can kill the process at that point.
Yeah, that's a really good one. So this building was bought, and there wasn't even an intention to put a brewery in it.
No, it was. Yeah.
As I was reading about that, I'm like, that's actually super fascinating.
Yeah.
So how did you get in touch with, is it RJ and his family, you said, that purchased the building?
Yeah, we Kelly was a real estate agent. Mary Jo and I were looking for different properties to start a brewery. We kind of honed in on Ballston Spa as like a perfect place that was just ripe for a brewery.
Mm-hmm.
We had thought about like Voorheesville, Altamont area, the water reliability, and the fact that we wanted to be in Saratoga County kind of put the brakes on that. We started looking at places up in Saratoga Springs, and I'm not saying it's saturated up there with breweries, but it's busy.
Yep.
It's definitely would have its challenges, and we kept going. It's funny, we would go there and hang out, and then we'd be like, "Oh, you want to go to Next Door Kitchen? You want to go to Henry's?" And then we'd be like, we started walking around up here, and we'd be like, you know what? Maybe there is enough people in here, because the lack of population here was what always like kind of was a negative, we thought, but it's really there's plenty of people here that appreciate like a place to gather and drink beer.
Yeah.
So and there's plenty of families here that don't need to leave and go to Saratoga Springs or Albany every weekend. They can come here and hang out, and it's been a blessing. These the residents here have really taken this and made it their own.
That's fantastic. What kind of shape was, so being abandoned for 10, 15, or however long years it was, what kind of shape was this building even in?
So RJ took, actually he can tell you exactly how many panes there were, because everyone was broken. And he literally took out every pane and replaced it with the glass that you see here.
Yeah, we were surrounded by two walls of just window panes.
Yeah, I think he said he had to do 312 of them.
Oh,
I think that's what it was. So it had been originally a dress factory when it was first constructed, and then it was left in disrepair for a while. It was purchased and converted into individual 10 by 10 storage units.
Really?
That went all the way around the entire building, and then that got abandoned. And when RJ came in here to clean it out, how many? 31 dumpsters?
Something like that. Over 25 for sure.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and he had
just to clean it out.
Just to clean it out. Yeah, and then they converted it into a wood shop for a little while until we moved in here.
Was it tough to come up with the design of how you wanted this place to look, or did you have a vision in mind?
The building kind of lent itself to our design. We knew that we thought that this place would be plenty big for forever. And now here we are. We're only about 7 months in, and we're already running out of space. We had to put up a bunch of storage units, and you can see right behind you is like that's our loading dock area, and we're running out of room pretty quickly, and we're already thinking about where we would have to go next to create bigger tank space.
Yeah. You obviously have an affinity for Ballston Spa, the surrounding area and stuff like that.
Yeah, my wife and I actually committed, and we like built a home here right in downtown Ballston Spa.
Nice.
We just moved in last month.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So how much does it mean to you and even RJ and his family to have to not only clean up this small part of the town with this building being abandoned for as long as it was, but to open a business that's growing rapidly in popularity and really becoming part of
Yeah,
the
I mean,
town?
it's definitely a source of pride, and I know especially for the Elliott family, like because like everybody that walks in here, they know most of them, right? So for them, they're just so thrilled to be able to, because they own businesses here in Ballston Spa, so this is just like icing on the cake for them. It really is. It's awesome.
So I'm going to move on to, is this the Gringo
That's
with
the
the
Gringo.
lime sticking out of it?
Yeah, buddy.
I think we already, this is the large pint you have yourself, but I
Yeah.
need to give this one a try.
Yeah, I'm blowing through it. I might have to switch to a New England.
That's pretty, that's solid Mexican style lager right there.
Mission accomplished, right?
Yeah.
It's turning out to be a very popular. We had that one on tap right from the get go in September, but going into the fall, we haven't. So we're actually timing the reintroduction of it for Cinco de Mayo.
Perfect.
Yeah.
These holidays just almost dictate what you should be brewing.
Oh yeah. Next week we're kicking off a mole stout, so that'll be the new one for May 5th.
Nice.
Yeah.
So where was I? What was? Obviously, there was a lot that went into opening this place. What was the biggest challenge of really trying to get things up and running for you guys?
Being compliant with the state liquor authority and waiting for the permits to go through was a challenge. And I think anybody that's just starting this will tell you it's a long process. It was 11 months to get our permits.
Oh wow!
Yeah. So that was definitely a challenge. And for me, it's unsettling because you're putting all the money into a build out. You have to buy the equipment first.
Yep.
Before. So like, what would happen if we didn't get approved for the permit? Right? Like you're putting out all this money, you're doing all this work to a building and without a permit. So to me, it was cart before the horse. But you also can't wait until you get the permit because you're not getting the permit until it's ready. So. It was hard for me to wrap my head around investing all this money into everything without having the get-go or the go-ahead from the state to say, oh yeah, go right ahead.
Keep pouring money in, and then it's just sit and wait.
Yeah. Like if for example, I don't know how like a lot of companies or businesses would do it because for the meantime you're paying rent for 11 months without any income coming in.
Yep.
So that was definitely a challenge.
So you basically need to be financially sound for a year before you can even start business.
Or just, it's a huge leap of faith.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah, that's crazy. It's a risk.
Yeah.
But like you said, this place was packed already, and it looks like the response has just been...
It's been good.
Really
It's a church
good.
crowd, though. It's a Sunday. People just got out of church. They gotta have pizza and a beer.
Straight from the pew to the Pilsner. That's pew to Pilsner. There we go.
Yeah, there you go. It could be a beer, next beer name.
Hashtag pew to Pilsner. That's a good one. Yeah, it's Sundays only, served on Sundays only.
Yeah, it could be a next beer name.
Yeah, so lots of beers here. Do you have a favorite beer you've done, or are they like all your children?
So, yeah, I mean, kind of. So we have a professional brewer, Terry Halstead, who's like crafted the majority of all these beers here. His favorite is this In a Haze. I had him tone it down a little bit. We had our original beer was In a Haze. It was an 8%. And I asked him to make the same exact beer, but in a lower octane beer for me. So this is the In a Little Haze. That's a 6.2 version of it. And I drink that all the time. That's a great beer.
I'll give this one a try right now since we're already talking about it.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah. So
Oh yeah, it's real nice.
It's hard to transition when you're like going between flights.
I know.
You have to take a few sips to of each
Well,
one.
like I said, I got to make sure I taste all these. It's part of the job.
I know. It's a tough job.
I make these sacrifices for people out there so they know.
Yeah.
But that's really good.
Yeah. Our the beer number 2 there, Restitution, on our list
Mm-hmm.
is one that that's one that I homebrewed for years before and we ended up introducing that one here, and that's the one that right now Saratoga Eagle is carrying and putting out in bars and restaurants in the capital region.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah.
So what's your favorite thing about this place since it's opened?
I kind of like people. I'm a people person, so for me, I like to go and hang out with the customers when they come in. And I like to talk beer with them, honestly.
Yeah, I feel like that would be my favorite thing too, is just to chat with all the people that come in.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you interrupt me, I was just about to start cleaning kegs, so that's one of the least favorite things I like doing. So this is a nice break.
You're welcome. Again, sacrifices.
Yeah.
It's hard to go wrong having wood-fired pizza available, of course, and I can't wait to have some. Did you guys struggle when you trying to decide what you wanted to do food-wise or anything like that?
No, right off the rip, I knew we wanted to go with wood-fired pizza. Honestly, I just knew it's an easy entry into the food business. For having very little experience other than just my wife bought me one of those Gosney wood-fired pizza home version things.
Like one of those outdoor pizza ovens?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
nice.
So I got into that and we were making pizza. I was like, and they were better than most of the pizzas we were buying out. And I was like, this would be a great combination. And I've seen other breweries in different areas kind of marry the two. Mm-hmm. And to me, it just seemed like a marriage as far as beer and pizza.
Oh, it's a perfect combination. And a lot of breweries, of course, just go the food truck route, which is great. Yeah. And people love food trucks, and whether they didn't put in a kitchen or couldn't or something like that, or didn't want to.
It's a big enough challenge just to have a brewery and just brewing beer and keeping that up. Now you put food on top of that. It's like basically 2 separate entities, and it's like 2 separate different challenges. Mm-hmm. Just like I spend most of my days just in procurement, making sure that the brewers have what they need and the pizza guys have what they need. It's a full-time job, just that. Really is.
Some small menu, of course, all locally sourced stuff and made here, which was awesome. Yep. Do you have a favorite pizza on the menu?
I like chicken bacon ranch right now. That's my go-to.
That sounds good.
Yeah,
that does sound good.
We just introduced a Nashville hot fried chicken pizza, which has become our number 1 seller, and then believe it or not, our dill pickle pizza.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm not as appealed by that one.
The dill, it's freakishly good. It's got that vinegary, just deliciousness to it. It's a good pie.
That's awesome. Is there a noticeable fan favorite when it comes to the beers you guys have had on tap so far?
Our Pilsner, Checks and Balance, that the Gringo replaced, was a big favorite. And then Restitution is usually the number 1 selling beer, which is just our house New England IPA. So between the Restitution, the In a Haze, and our Pilsner, that comprises about 25% of our sales every week for those 3 beers. Yeah, they're big favorites. Our seltzers, though, are coming on hard.
Are they?
This summer, I think,
with summer coming, those will probably really pick up.
They really have picked up, and we end up having we usually have about 10 different flavors. Mm-hmm. So there's something there for everybody for the non-beer drinker.
No, did you guys open with like 10 or 11 beers on tap at the
12
time?
12 beers on tap. Yeah.
How crazy was that?
I ddidn't realize how ambitious it was until we started to try to keep them in stock. And I was like, oh my God, we were stupid. Well, what it was? We had so much time before we were able to open. Yeah. So we just had all this brew time. We're like, I guess we'll just keep brewing. And then keeping them all on stock. That is the challenge until we got 7-barrel tanks that we can double batch into. And that way when we're brewing, we're making 14 kegs at a time.
Nice.
Yeah.
I did start seeing places advertising having Speckled Pig beers on tap.
Yeah.
Are you guys getting out into the market now for other places?
Yeah. But right now we're doing a limited release with just Restitution, our New England IPA. Saratoga Eagle's done a bang-up job in putting us out at different locations. think we're at about 30 different locations in the capital region right now.
Oh, wow, already.
Yeah. So, but it's just been that one brand so far, just the one SKU they call it, just Restitution.
Hey, man.
Yeah.
That's a start. I look forward to finding this somewhere out on a tap.
Yeah, it's like hearing your, I guess as a musician, when you first time you hear your
song on the radio.
It's the same way. We walked in Powers Pub a couple of weeks ago and saw it there, and I was like, wow, it's really cool. And then we've been at Bailey's. I know a Rusty Nail has it on tap right now.
Oh, nice.
A bunch of places. So.
I haven't been to the Rusty Nail in at least a few years.
Oh man, place is mobbed.
Yeah, that place does great.
Unbelievable for like a small footprint. Like I've always said, I'm like, per square foot, that's got to be the most profitable place in the capital region.
Like, they always get acknowledged for their wings as being one of the best in town. I'm gonna say not my favorite wing.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. I love.
They're up there, just not my favorite.
Yep, 20 North Broadway. I really like.
That's where I was gonna go.
Henry's is great. Has great chicken wings.
Do they?
Right around the corner from us.
I
Really
see.
good chicken wings. Yeah.
Again, I'm not as familiar with the places that are in the immediate area here, other than now in a real McCoy, which I have to walk by to get to where I parked.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
And tell me about the Speckled Pigs Founders Club.
So the Founders Club, when we first opened, we had an opportunity for on the opening weekend of the guests that came in. We solicited them for donations to get us up and running, and for $100, we gave them a T-shirt, their name on the wall, and then the first Wednesday of every month, they get to try our new releases for that coming month. And then what we'll have them do is we have them give them a taste test, and they sample it. They'll fill out a card for us saying whether they like it, whether they didn't like it, and then whether they want to see it on the menu. And then they get to try to name it. If we pick their name, we give them a hooded sweatshirt. And at the end of the day, that night, we give them a can of beer to take home with them for that beer that they just sampled.
Nice.
So it's pretty cool.
And that filled up super quick, right, when you first started doing it?
Yeah, it was awesome. We only did it for the first week we were open, either 2 weekends or 1 weekend. But it just took off. It was awesome. And now it's really the first Wednesday of every month that's coming up, actually. They're going to be the first ones to try the Mole Stout and probably one other beer if we're ready if it's ready on tap or not. The new England IPA.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
So let's talk future plans for the Speckled Pig. You have the outside upstairs patio, which I can't wait to see when that's done. That's going to be cool. On a 2-story building. That already looked like, as soon as I saw that, I'm like, I want to go up there.
Yeah, it's going to be cool. That's got, like I said, we're going to have cornhole up there. We'll have a tap system up there just to dispense either 6 or 8 beers at a time. And we're going to try to, we've capped it at 50 people is the maximum up there, but it's 1,600 square feet. So it'll be nice and spacious for everybody that's up there. And it's going to be a great view of the Ballston Spa.
Awesome.
It's going to be cool.
So what would you like to see for the pig in the future going forward? What are your goals now? You've opened, you've seen the response being overwhelmingly positive. So far. Yeah. So far. Great. So what kind of ideas is this plan in your head for going forward?
After we get through the summer, our plan is to get a canning line, and start canning, putting our stuff out there, or doing can releases here on a regular basis. That's what we've got left for 2023. And then if we're bold enough and things are going well enough, maybe a second location in 2024.
Awesome.
That'd be the plan. The wheels everything has to align just right for that.
Of course.
Yep.
Is there something you haven't brewed yet that you're just itching to try?
I'd really like to get into barrel aging some of our Pilsners.
Okay. Wow, Pilsners.
Yeah, that's what I'd like to do. We have barrel aged some of our stuff, but in bourbon barrels, which that's been more like the special. Like we have a cream ale that we put in bourbon barrels and had bourbon barrel aged cream ale, which was delicious and all. But I go to Suarez. Have you ever been to Suarez family?
I haven't. I've heard a lot about them too. I want to check that out.
Great Pilsners. It's just very, very crisp beers like Hill Farmstead. The same. I've heard. I'm not 100% sure if the brewer at Hill Farmstead is now one of the owners at Suarez.
Really?
And that's why their beers are very similar. But
I know
I'd love to get into that.
One of my favorite Pilsners I've had was from Warbler right in Del Mar.
Yeah. Yeah.
They've made one of my favorite Pilsners.
Oh, really?
I still remember that one, yeah.
Yeah. Was it a rice one? I seem to remember.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
I think it was Perula Pilsner.
Okay.
I think everything's bird themed, of course.
Yep.
But that's been one of my top pilsners I've had in the local area.
Nice. Yeah.
But I'll try any beer, but for some reason, darks and stouts I just can't really get into. I keep trying them.
Yeah. Well, the season's over for it.
Yeah.
Kinda. It's definitely slowing down.
It's my time of year.
Yeah. Exactly. We always have one on tap, and that's usually tied in with Coffee Planet as far as their flavoring. So
I'm always because they always have some crazy ass flavors, so I always want to try them.
Yeah.
To see if I can pick up on those. I'm like,
Yep.
I don't know if I can drink this whole thing.
No, I know. It's kind of like sours. I like sours, but I can't drink a pint.
Oh, I can do depending on the level of tartness, I can do a pint, but I can't do two.
Yep. I'm with you.
Like, there's some solid ones out there where if it's just enough, just a little tart.
Yeah. Unified does a really good job locally with their sours.
Yeah, Unified's really good.
Yep.
In fact, now I want to go to Unified. So
It's right down the road.
I think a couple people have come looking for you, so we're going to wrap things up in a few minutes.
All right.
A few minutes, I think. So you determined you wanted to open a brewery, you go into it, you have an idea, I mean, you want to brew beer.
Yeah.
Was there anything that really took you by surprise when it came to opening this place that you're like, holy crap, I didn't think this would be part of...
Probably just the sheer amount of hours you have to be here. Like,
okay.
It's 7 days a week. We have 2 days that are off, Tuesdays and Wednesdays, but you're here anyway because you're brewing, you're doing cellar work. Like those are your days where you're only working 6 or 8 hours. So those are the breaks. Those are your
those are the half
days.
days.
Those are the half days. 100%. Saturdays are the beast. You're here like 16 hours, and even Sunday, getting out at 8 o'clock, only having to be here for 10 hours. You're like, oh man, this is like a half day today. This is nice.
Well, I mean, yeah, those are long days, but again, talking to the people and seeing how much they enjoy this place, that's got to give you a sense of satisfaction that makes it all worth it.
It absolutely does. When you're living something and you're in the middle of it, you don't realize like it takes a step back to like look back and see the sense of accomplishment that you have because it's so incremental day to day that you don't realize what a big effort this was to get to this point, and you don't realize what a big accomplishment it is because you're living it day and day after day. So it takes a step back to look back and be like, wow, can't believe it's only been a year, right? It hasn't even been a year.
No.
So our distributor has said, you guys wait till 5 years from now, you won't recognize what this place is. So I look forward to that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So that's going to do it. A wrap on another successful episode of Stories from a Bar. Big thank you, Larry, for hanging out.
Thanks,
telling me all about the beers and the samples here. This is all the awesome stuff.
I appreciate that.
And I'd recommend this place to anybody. So if you're not doing it already, be sure to follow all the social media pages for Speckled Pig Brewing to keep tabs on everything going on, all the awesome beers they'll have coming, when the rooftop deck's going to open, because you're going to want to hang out.
Do not hang up from there.
Yeah, no. You're going to want to hang out on the rooftop deck as soon as that opens. Anything else you want to throw in?
No, buddy, we're good.
Awesome.
Thank you. Make sure you get a pizza, though. That's all.
Oh, I intend to. I can't leave here without trying some of that pizza. So a huge thank you to everyone out there for checking out the show. You can, of course, follow Stories from a Bar on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at StoriesFAB to keep up with everything going on and coming up with the show. You'll find Stories from a Bar on all the major podcast platforms, so be sure to like and subscribe, and even more importantly, leave fantastic reviews and share the hell out of it. So until next time, people, cheers.